Joining us now, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton. I know you know all about this. We're still getting the reporting coming in. Scientists and national security experts warning the White House has created a super spreader event at the border. How bad is it?
So, Liz, you and I have been talking about this for a long time. I think you've covered it as well as anybody that I know. And I remember on one of our first shows after Biden took office, we talked about this, the president being one of the greatest super spreaders we've ever known. And I think that's proven to be true over the months as he's let more and more people cross the border without testing them, without vaccinating them, without wanting to know if they even have COVID, and then spreading them all over the country. Of course he's spreading COVID, and they know exactly what they're doing. They're doing it on purpose.
So we're seeing estimates 1 out of 5, 1 out of 10. The numbers are all over the map because they're not testing. We don't know how many illegal immigrants have COVID. You know, we're a humane country. We don't want them to get sick along the way. You shouldn't be coming here illegally and trying to get into the country illegally. So if you do it illegally, you got to get hit with sexual assaults, all sorts of attacks, and maybe COVID-19. You know, that's what's happening. But it's reckless to have a U.S. open border policy when we have COVID virus variants fueling the existing pandemic. You're seeing variants from coming in potentially from, you know, dozens of countries, migrants from 150 countries. They could turn the USA into a melting pot of COVID. And people wonder why our numbers are awful.
Well, you've hit it exactly, and it's not shocking to me that our numbers are getting worse. It is shocking to me that this president really will stop American citizens from crossing the border, coming by flight or however they come. You cannot come into this country if you have COVID and you're an American citizen, but if you're illegal, we're not going to check that, and we're going to send you secretly all over the country with COVID. That tells me that they do not care about COVID, and the fact that they're willing to fire Americans for not taking a COVID vaccine and at the same time turn a blind eye with no vaccinations for those who are coming across illegally, those two things don't go together, and they tell you that there's some reason they don't really care about COVID.
Yeah, it's getting so brazen. Phil Keating of Fox News has footage of illegal immigrants just showing up on beaches in Florida. Let's show the video. You're going to see it in just a second. So it's the message to the world. You know, you could just walk in. You could just come into the country wherever, whenever you want, you know, and in the middle of a pandemic, right? So this is astonishing footage of illegal immigrants showing up on the beaches in Florida. What do you say to this?
It makes me sad that our president really is willing to risk the lives of so many Americans, because we know that people are going to die from this. We know that they're going to die from fentanyl overdoses because we have more of that than we've ever had in our country, because the importation of fentanyl now is so easy with Border Patrol busy taking care of these people and transporting them. So what the reality is, we have to acknowledge this. The President of the United States is willing to sacrifice Americans because he wants illegal immigration for whatever reason that is. It's a reality right now.
So the president is talking about lifting the ban on travel from 8 African countries. So that was done to slow down the spread of the Omicron variant. We've got widespread testing for illegals, pretty much non-existent, not required. Only those showing symptoms are required to take a test for the virus. Is that it?
Yeah, none of that makes any sense if you care about the spread of COVID. But clearly, there is no desire here to stop the spread of COVID, and particularly in Republican states. I have this feeling they like seeing high numbers of COVID patients in Republican states because they are transporting these people largely to Republican states.
So they're relying, is this true? They're relying on a patchwork of local governments and other contractors and nonprofits to do the testing. So the responsibility isn't on the federal government. And then you've got a drop in Title 42 expulsions, right? So in other words,
yeah.
if you're pushing off the testing to contractors or people who are not really doing it, then you don't have to do Title 42 expulsions. Is that what's going on?
I think that's exactly what's going on. They do not want to expel these people. They want them here. They want as many of them as they can get here. They're inviting them to come. This isn't like they're just not doing their job. They are literally promoting illegal immigration, knowing that they will spread more of the pandemic, more COVID around the country. It's clear that that's what they're trying to do, and I don't understand why there's not more of an outcry from both parties.
Stay here on this for a second. What happens to the border communities, the neighborhoods at the border when they have to contend with COVID coming in? What's the reaction there? What's going on?
I think they're incredibly frustrated with this because they're at risk of the disease, and their risk is going up. Their risk of dying is going up. They know it. And every time there's a new variant and there's more people crossing the border, it creates greater exposure for them. They know it. If you go down and talk to these people on the border, they are incredibly scared and they are incredibly fearful of what's going on with this president.
All right, Attorney General Ken Paxton, great to have you on. Thanks for your service to our country. Come back soon.